let's get started. I am going to give you a rundown on my love life and how it has shaped my personality and my brain, and I think it'll just be an interesting deep dive. Right, so let's start off with my childhood first of all. Okay, so my father died before I was born, right? So my father died before I was born, and my mom was pregnant, and they were married, happily married, all that crap. She was a single mother. She struggled with alcoholism. She was abusive, but she was really protective, and she cared about me. She cared about my looks. She cared about my hygiene. She parented me properly, but she was just overly trying to make me too perfect, and like would not accept my own things. Like if I want to be like alternative, no, it was a no, right? So that's my like childhood. So I was brought up as a robot. I was brought up to care about her feelings and not my feelings. I was taught not to cry when she beat me. I was taught like right. So you get me. But I, not to suck my own dick, but I am literally sucking my own clitoris right now. I am the nicest, most caring, most compassionate person. I'm a fucking Virgo, number one. And I was actually reading back at my old school notes from my teachers, and all they have to say is that I'm like so understanding and whatever, but I struggle with dyslexia, right? So that was always a problem where I can't spell or like speak properly sometimes. I digress. Psyche, right? That's my psyche. So I've never been dependent on a father, and I've watched her like run through relationships and always kick these men out who ain't shit, and she's always taught me to like be like so disciplined and like she's a hard bitch, right? She's a hard bitch. She taught me to like to be focused, like locked in. But I was like such a lover girl, right? I was so lover girl, like so romantic. I'm still so romantic. Like I love the romance. The romance of it all is tea. I want to move because I want a funner background. I think this is just a funner background. Right, so I want to start with my first time. So my first time happened with a boy that claimed to love me, and I've named them after characters of movies and TV shows so that you can like get how I feel about like how I feel about them, so you can see a picture. Like I call this guy Pikachu because he's like he's autistic, right? And that's fine, but perhaps maybe it was creating a barrier with communication with shit, and I don't know if it is right. Anyways, he's got his own issues. He claimed he loved me. I was heavily Christian at the time, so I said I was not down to do the deed, and he said I understand, and then proceeded to take me for a walk and do the deed with me, and then I was absolutely in shock. And then when I texted him the next day, he did not reply to me. He said he loved me and he wanted me to be his girlfriend, and he just ghosted me after we did the deed. So that shaped my psychology at such a young age, at like 15, that like, right. So it like annoyed me that like, okay, right, I have to kind of like just realize like sex isn't that important, and like you kind of have to just move on, you know what I mean? And like, yeah, the Christian guilt shit was still there. We'll talk about like the Christian part after. So then I moved on to my next relationship, and this guy, I want to just call him like blue collar. He was just like, you know, it was just like young love, typical blue collar relationship, yada yada yada, nothing that, it was, you know, he's just young. And I think after like I realized like, okay, I'm actually attractive, okay, people want to like like maybe I'm not in the mood for a relationship, I want to like test my avenues at like, you know, seeing who I can attract. So I broke up with him. Then I moved to Canada. Then I started seeing two guys. One guy, it was just like a high school thing, nothing serious. And then the other guy, like I really love him, I care about him. Like I know him. He's like literally like we were so silly and so stupid, but like so much love. He's like literally like my just like such like a brother love. Like we really like love each other like till this day. Like we're like, it's just so heartbreaking the way I had to move, but it's like it's just Vibes Cartel with that boy. Like it's absolutely Vibes Cartel with that boy. So he doesn't have a nickname because like it's like for him he's that person. Like he's Vibes Cartel, and I like wish him the best. So now moving back to Northern Ireland, I start seeing this guy, and I'm gonna call him Denny Darko, right? Because I want you to like picture even the way they look, like right, like picture that look, right? and it was like, he's a Pisces, number one, right? And I loved his personality. We got on like a house on fire. He was so fucking funny. I was 19 and he was 23, and like he had a car and like he had so much money, and we were like doing so much fun stuff together, and he introduced me to so much like, good shit and like good music and like, you know, like drugs and stuff, but like not in a bad way, like, but it was the issue was he was so controlling, and I was really young, and I was like okay with it because I wanted stability at this point. Like my life was like so turbulent and wanted stability, so I was happy to be stable. But then it got to a point where it was like I couldn't go out with my friends when I finally started making friends again after moving back from Canada. I couldn't like he would get so jealous and misinterpret everything, and also I'm so fucking young as well, so like maybe I was like acting in teenage brain, and like things I was saying he was taking. So, and I also think he had a touch of autism as well. Yeah. So he's also like misconstruing things, and it's like, bro. And like one thing about me you'll notice is that apparently I track the spectrum. I track the spectrum. My spectrum is dyslexia, okay? So I am on this, I am neurodivergent, but it's dyslexia, okay? I'm very much not autistic. Sorry to break it to you, because all these boys would love to say I'm autistic too, just because I understand them and I can grasp what they're saying. But it's because I'm actually a compassionate person, because like I know getting hit as a child will fucking make you compassionate, and fucking being bullied for being like black and like skinny will also make you compassionate, and like I just don't treat people like shit. But we'll get to that, because y'all gonna make me act up soon. Y'all gonna make me act up soon. Right, so then yeah, well, so with this boy, it was great, but I knew like I don't want to be controlled. I don't want to be controlled. You're not gonna control me. So I left. But then he was so like attachy, like you're mine, very much so you're mine, and like cannot let go, and I will fight and I will do anything, and like I was like, yo, that's like, you can't do that, niggas. Stop fucking doing that shit. I'll fight for you. No, because what you're doing is you're not actually trying to fight for the girl. You're actually like causing mayhem and torment in her life. She doesn't want you. Want yourself. Like, move the fuck along. Like I've been so quick to drop people like that. Like, so I broke up with them. Like, I've been so quick to drop people because I deserve a life that I fucking want. I deserve a life and a partner that I fucking want. And I'm not gonna fucking do it with people that like, or like, don't control me, like so controlling, like you, like I'm not going anywhere, and like don't trust me, right? So next is, who's next after him? Okay, this person, I call him Travis Barker, right? Because remember, like Travis Barker, the drummer from Blink-182, I want you to like think about like how I visualize him. Okay, so like think about Kourtney Kardashian's like little love story. Like she came out of like a fucking shitty situation, and then she starts seeing this guy, and he's so fun, exciting, and he drums, and he's like teaching you all this new stuff, and that was fun. But I was unhealed at this point. Now I'm like, my mom had just died. I had so much trauma from this past nigga, like and I think I was just like, I was lying a lot as well, but like not lying about like what I'm doing, or like I'm not like cheating, like lying about like who I am, because I did not want to come off as like a traumatized piece of shit, but I was like literally a traumatized piece of shit. And oh my god, my fucking camera's gonna die. 1 second. I wonder if I can film without charging. And we're back. Okay, right, so essentially this particular boy, where are we, Travis Barker, he was not like the last boy. He wasn't clingy, he wasn't anxiously attached, he was actually quite detached, the complete opposite, very mellow, like didn't care if I lived or died, and in the best of ways. And we both had our own mistakes in the relationship, but what I'm very grateful about this relationship, and that's why we are still friends and able to talk to this day and be happy for each other if he's in a new relationship or whatever, is because he was honest and would tell me like I don't need to fucking like lie and pretend that like I'm okay when I'm not, or over exaggerate about shit, or like just like be like so like annoying. But I was just like confused, and I was like stuck in this like victim mentality, because like shit, well I was a victim at the time, right? which is, but it was like it was unproductive. The way I was reacting to things was unproductive, you know. Like bad things would happen to me and I'd crash out, and he'd be like, it's just like, and it was bringing him down. And then it was like, but you're supposed to care about me. But it's like, no, it's like you're bringing people down sometimes when you like do too much, right? And he's been able to be so honest about his mistakes, and I've been honest with him about my mistakes, and we're able to just like actually talk. And that's what I really respected, because I was always able I'm always been someone who's able to just fucking talk about it. And like he like was so like, we can just talk about it, you know what I mean? And I would hold things in and then like crash out majorly about like one little thing, but it was like I had a build up of things that I wasn't fucking saying. But he also created an environment where I felt I couldn't say stuff to him, but like I don't know if that was in the brain chemistry at that time, if it was just really like energetic. I wasn't really like focusing on the energies around me and like how to like manipulate them, like how I know now, like you actually have to be in charge of the energies you're producing, and you kind of have to be like the bigger person, because like you could be talking in your own head like, well, I'm not gonna bring it up unless he brings it up, like you know what I mean? Like I think like we're now at like a space where I'm not afraid to say how I feel, because like that helps situations. And like I'm absolutely so grateful for this person, because they taught me a lot about relationships, and like taught me how not to, you know. And like I kind of get it as well, like I get it, like we were on and off, we broke up a bunch of times. It was like I broke up with him, then he broke up with me, then he fucked up with I broke up with and then he finally ended it at the end, and it was like, that's good. Like, and I was like proud of him. I'm like, okay, look, I'm glad that you actually like were able to just like take the steps and be like, no, you need to work on yourself, because like duh, like, and don't be scared to break up. I'm always like, don't be scared to break up with me, because like it's important to need your own space. Like I'm losing people has been a very big part of my life. Like lost my mum, lost my dad before I was even born, lost, you know, my friends in Canada and my ex in Canada. Like I just like, people drop like flies around me, and it's like you have to just learn to like move on and not be so anxiously attached. And like you would think that would make me more like grab onto people, but it's like new love comes, new friendship comes, new bonds come, new fresh and more growth comes from it. But then after this, I ended up seeing this one I call Crunk from The Emperor's New Groove, because he's just like that guy. Like he's like, you know, like lovely, bubbly, fun, and we like a house on fire. But I was just not ready for a relationship at this point. Like now I'm like, you know, I can't do it. Like I'm just latching on to people for nothing. Like I actually need to like maybe settle down and wise up and find out what I'm doing. So that ended pretty quickly, but we're great friends now. And once again, he was able to communicate and I'm able to communicate with him, and it's like we talk and it's like it makes sense and we're still friends. Like, see, when you just fucking talk and like they see these people, those two particular people see me as me as an individual, and not as like this thing that they have to grab and possess and hold. I'm gonna hold my tongue. Like, just stop. Like, just stop with that shit. Like, just stop with that shit. Like, just stop, because that shit is manipulative and annoys me, and it's actually detrimental if you do that to people who suffer from. If you do that to people who suffer with like autism and stuff, and like anything like that, like if you manipulate them with all this like, but I love you, keep it, stay with me, no. Like, no, you're weird, right? So then we have this particular person was not an ex. He was someone that I was just casually seeing, and we were in agreement the whole time, multiple conversations how we were just seeing, just fucking basically. And he, to the point that even he went on holiday, texted me and goes, oh, can I kiss some girl? And I was like, do you, boo boo, just don't bring back STDs to the crib. And he ended up just being like, I don't know, maybe this bomb pushy, like maybe it's just this big old titties, maybe it's just a fat ass, maybe it's just a, look, let me relax. He ended up just crashing out hard, basically, that he couldn't have me, to the point that he like started like racially abusing me, calling my mother, like he's never met my mother, by the way, and he doesn't know anything about her, being like she was a fucking like posting, like he's like one of those people that posts on Facebook when like shit goes down, because he's like a fucking millennial, old ass nigga. and he like broke into my house, trashed everything. He's like, why don't you love me? Crash out, like a whole big fucking like tantrum, crashing out. And I'm like, you know, like we were very communicative about the situation, but then you have feelings for me and I keep telling you I don't, and like then stop coming back. But it was, the thing is that I'll say like, I don't think it's good. Let me see these crash out people that I mentioned. I always say it's not good for you to see me if you love me so much that you're gonna crash out. I think you should like take a step back and like get over me. But then they would like make excuses of why they need to see me. So he would like make excuses like, oh, I can't sleep, like, can I at least see you, like, and I feel bad. I'm like, okay, fine. And then he'd crash out when I said, I don't want to have sex with you because I don't want to aid and abet your sick obsession with me. Your sick obsession with me. I'm being fucking for real. Like, this is my life. Like, I'm not being up my own hole. It's just weird sick obsession. Like using me as like a mummy issues type shit. Like I'm being fucking for real. Using me as fucking mummy type shit. Like grabbing onto me like shit. And then you wonder why I'm sitting there, because you're like, no, because you don't give a fuck about what I have to say. You don't share the same opinions as me. Our personalities, like, the things we care about, you don't care about. You don't care about what I'm doing with my art. You are using me as comfort because I can listen to you and I'm understanding, and you're using me as a mummy. I fucking clocked it, and that's why I don't fucking give. That's why I'm detached and I don't give a fuck about like these particular like vampires. It's vampiric the way that they treat you, right? Anyways, that person to hell. Send him to hell, because the things that he did. And it's so weird because he used to like then started saying racial slurs when I finally like decided he didn't like me. He was like using racial slurs against me. It's like, so like, see how like 1 minute you like I love you and now you can call me and the N-word. Like you don't even like you don't even like. And then the worst thing, he got a girlfriend that looked exactly like me after. Weird behavior. Do you know what? He ended up crashing out so hard because he thought someone else was flirting with her that he ended up killing one of his best friends. It's on the news. You can look it up. Anyways, now we have I cannot remember. Yes, now we have Patrick Bateman from American Psycho, right? So this particular man, I went out with him and he was a loser. Number one, he was a loser. I had nothing going for him. Always broke, always complaining, but I had money at this time, so I was like, I didn't mind helping out the cause, and he was really nice and really lovely. Like we got on really well, but come to find out, he was he's a serial cheater. He was into some weird shit, man. Like, this person is like demonically possessed. Like, he's on some demonic shit. Like, he was always having sleep paralysis. But once again, me was like, I cured his sleep paralysis. So like, he wanted to sleep with me every night, and he was like low-key stealing money off me. Like, money would go missing in my side drawers, and he was just like using money laundering off my name, like saying some shit like he did it to all his other girlfriends. Me and all his other girls, we've all came together and talked. Okay, we've all like imagine this is all we've all talked, and we've realized, yeah, he like played us all, wiped all our bank accounts clean, whether it was someone else, even like bitches abroad. He had bitches abroad that he like literally traumatized so bad that they had to drop their fucking degrees and move back. This man is psychotic, evil, demonic. Like, the presence of him is absolutely disturbing and sick to me. I literally cannot. But he was such a good manipulator. He was never shouted at me, was so kind, was so understanding, and the most painful part about all of that is that, like, I only found all of that information out that I just said, only found it out in like within one sitting of talking to all these other people that have stopped being friends with him or stopped going out with him for certain reasons, right? And it like crashed my whole world, because I would break up with him constantly throughout like the year we went out, because I felt like he just was like a wee bit detached. Like, he didn't want to really do anything with me. He like didn't really care about my hobbies. He was kind of just once again enjoying the luxury of having like a pretty girlfriend and whatever, you know, and the money, and maybe like because I'm like so caring. And then it got like to a point But and he'd always crash out and be like, no, please, I love you, I love you, I love you. One of those things where he just wanted to keep me. And it was annoying thing is like, if you're gonna like cheat anyways, like why are you even bothering to keep me? And then also like he would lie, like he'd put scenarios in my head like, oh, this girl was flirting with me, oh, this girl like trying to make me jealous type shit. And I was like, ugh, I don't care, man. I don't care. I don't care. There's like billions of people who would pay to see my nipple. Like, come on, like, and I'm being fucking real. I'm not being up my hole. This is the world we live in as women. Like, if you're a woman that's not hideous and atrocious, like Ash Trevino, like, the men were willing to pay. Like, this is why there's OnlyFans. Like, so I was like, I don't care if someone like, why are you telling me like? Shouldn't we be locked in with each other? Like, why are you trying to make me jealous about some dumb shit, some dumbass girl you don't care about? Like, if you don't. So anyways, he's done. But that's psychology. After I found out all of that stuff, that shit literally like melted my brain into tiny pieces. Like, because he was also, bar that, the only person that actually understood me when I talked about stuff. But this was the second time we ended up going out, right? After I broke up with him, I ended up in another relationship, with, I would like to call this person Tim Burton, because he made sense in like how I really idolize his like artwork and who he is and like what he does. But he's all about himself, really. He's very like in his life and himself, and he thinks he's the best. And I was like, right, child, like you just want me as an accessory to your life. I have my own life. Like, you do you, nigga. Like, you're just a wee bit too self-absorbed for me. But like, all the best. Anyways, so I ended up getting back with this other boy after a couple of months of being single, and yeah, I ended up getting back with Patrick Bateman, because keep in mind I didn't know any of the stuff I just said about Patrick Bateman. And this time he had changed. All of a sudden he likes musicals. All of a sudden he's like paying attention to me. All of a sudden he's doing the things. All of a sudden he's paying for stuff. All of a sudden he's like whatever, right? He's doing the things to keep me. But he's even worse now. He's even more calculated. He's even more Machiavellian, I think is the word. And it was now becoming so manipulative. His manipulative tricks were working so well that like I couldn't see them in real time. I was having to see like that he's a manipulator through my dreams. I was having sleep paralysis from like literally my guardian angels trying to tell me like, this nigga is out for blood. Like it was like the sleep paralysis would be like he would come into the bedroom as if he's like coming to see me, and then we'd start having sex, or we'd be going to, and then he would turn into multiple women, so that was giving cheating, right? And then what was the other one when after I found out all of that stuff, and I was crashing out hard, and I was so sad because I really believed all of his lies. I really believed he would never have did this to me. I actually believed him when he said he had changed, and he was acting like he had changed, but he was just lying better and doing things better. It was like he came to my bed and said, I'm so sorry for everything, and I goes, okay, well, like, and then he tries to have sex with me, and I try to have sex with him back, and then this demon literally goes and says, no, you should not have sex with me. You do not want to have sex with me, and like fades away. And it's like, that was like, I know that was like my higher fucking spiritual sense, like being like, that person is like, and the thing about him is I think he practices sex magic in the terms of like the things he'd say in bed. And the things that he'd do, he was really like vocal, and but like it was almost in a manifesting way. And the things he did to other people in bed, like once all the girls were talking, it's giving like he really implants himself in you, and he uses that. But he had different personalities for each person he was fucking going out with, and that type of twisted behavior, honestly, it's just, now I've taken a step back. I still do believe in love, right? I still do believe in love, but it's made me like now take a step back from everyone and everything, and realize that like when people fucking love you or say they love you, that word is serious, okay? I say I love you to my friends, when we're in a I love you situation, like, oh, I love you, like, thank you for doing that, like, you really mean it. But see if you're crashing out hard and the other person's not reciprocating and you're using, but I love you. And what? Maybe you just shouldn't. I think people need, you know, maybe you just shouldn't, because you don't mean it, because you don't act like it. You don't act like it. When I'm in love with someone, when I'm in love with someone, it's because I love what they stand for, what they're about. I love their beliefs. And like the people who don't agree with my beliefs, and the people who don't agree with my lifestyle, and the people who don't agree with the way I act, or if I party too much, were the ones who always used to say, but I love you, so why are you not acting the way I want you to? Well, how the fuck are you in love with something that is not acting the way you want it to? Mic drop, like, end of story. And like, call me a hard bitch and call me bitter, whatever, because do you know how polite and beautiful my solar system is around me when I do not have these vampiric men sucking out of me, sucking my love out of them and my compassion. And I still will have compassion for these people, but I will clock them and I will tell you that you're doing exactly what I think you're fucking doing, because you should just grow. Okay, you should take the insult and grow from it. You shouldn't take this as a reason to start bashing. You should actually grow from it, because you're miserable, because you're lying to yourself. Okay. And that is why I'm a psychopath. No, just kidding.
One big room full of bad bitches. One big room full of bad